Welcome, everyone. My name is Susan Patterson. I'm the host of this YouTube channel, Winning the Fight Against Human Trafficking and Child Exploitation. In this video, you will hear from Savannah, a mother who succeeded in getting her brainwashed daughter away from her sex trafficker. For those of you who have children who are being trafficked, this video will be an answer to prayer as you will receive the encouragement and support that you are looking for. Savannah now works as a parent advocate for a parent empowerment program for parents whose children have been trafficked. We need more programs like this nationwide, as thousands of parents and their children are living in agony. You won't be seeing Savannah's face because we don't want her to be recognized, because if people know who Savannah is, you'll know who her daughter is. Survivors of human trafficking need to rebuild their life without being identified as someone who is trafficked. So while not seeing Savannah's face and a Zoom interview may not be as engaging as we would like for YouTube, Savannah's powerful story will thoroughly engage you and inspire you. If you are looking to find out what you can do to fight human trafficking, just click on the icon in the lower left below this video to find training videos and more interviews like this one. Without further ado, let's begin. Welcome, Savannah. Why don't we start with your sharing with us what happened?
At the age of 14, my daughter was introduced to a human trafficker at a party. From there, my daughter was a victim of human trafficking for 5 years. That was one of my hardest and painful experiences that no parent should go through. It was hard, painful. I had sleepless nights, not knowing who she was with, where she was at, if she was alive or if she was dead. I wouldn't hear from her from period of times when she would leave home. The worst nightmare that any parent goes through is when you get a phone call from a paramedic that your daughter is being rushed to the hospital. She had her jaw broken by another trafficker, all because my daughter refused to work for him. It destroys, the family. It tore me and my fiance tore us apart. It broke our relationship. My other kids, I have, my daughter has other sisters and brothers, which it was so hard for them to even see their sister going through a lot of pain that they couldn't function. It destroyed our family apart. They just couldn't understand why she would leave and she would come back, why she using drugs and always fighting with me and just calling me out of my names. And it was hard for them to see their sister be her behavior. They couldn't bear to see their sister just manipulating me and abusing and just stealing from me. So that was a very difficult thing to experience. I was divided because I would put all my attention towards my daughter and I wasn't attentive to their needs. So that was pretty hard to try to balance a family.
I'll bet. Now, in addition of leaving all the time, were there any other ways that she was acting out?
Yes, she was. She would come home under the influence. I don't know what kind of drugs, but it wasn't her. Her attitude, she would be outraged if I did not give her what she wanted. For instance, if she would ask me for money, she would go off on me and she would actually destroy my place. She would just go in the kitchen and just take everything out the cabinets. She would get the bags of rice, beans, whatever it was. She was just totally destroy the kitchen, break dishes, and I just didn't know what to do. So I actually had to call the cops a couple of times.
That's tough. A lot of parents would give up at this point. Did your faith play a part in helping you get through this?
Well, let me tell you, yes, there was a lot of times that I just wanted to throw in the towel. I didn't know how to respond to her. I didn't know what to say to her. And the only comfort that I found was my faith. I would constantly be in my prayer, just asking God to help me, to give me the strength. And I did. I actually started seeing my daughter for who she was and not what she was in. I learned how to love her, and not to point fingers at her.
How long did this go on?
I was a victim of human trafficking for about 5 years.
How did you get your daughter away from her pimp?
It was hard. It was hard, but I believe that showing my daughter love, meeting her where she was at, because I couldn't change her. What changed was is the way that I would react towards her. I would always be supportive. I would always go to court for her. I would always tell her that she was an amazing person, that she had a lot of potential in her, and that I believed in her, and that that wasn't who she was.
Savannah, that is amazing. Was her trafficker ever arrested?
Yes, there was actually not just one trafficker. There was actually two. The first trafficker that um, broke her jaw, he did get sentenced and is serving time right now. The other trafficker that was trafficking her, he is also in custody and serving time.
What advice would you give parents to prevent their children from becoming victims?
Advice that I would give other parents, as a parent that has gone through this nightmare, I would say pay attention to the red flags, their behavior, their friends, and also to, if you don't know the signs or what to look for, get educated. Find out what human trafficking is so you know the signs and you can report it. You can call DCF, DCFS, or the human trafficking hotline, which is 1-888-373-7888.
I understand that you are now a parent advocate, meaning you are helping parents whose children have been trafficked or are currently being trafficked. Can you tell us about that program?
Yes, my passion now, that if I can change and help one family, that is my goal. And my goal is to help families and help them to understand the human trafficking, how they can support their children, and also to know the signs and support them and walk through with them as they experience, if the child is going through, is in human trafficking or is at risk.
What are some of the things that happens in those groups?
The purpose of the Parent Empowerment Program, we provide supports to parents, sharing learning opportunities with each other, increase understanding of how and why children become victims of commercial sexual exploitation, why children or youth continue to return to their exploiter, who are the exploiters, how CSEC impacts children, youth, and the family, risk of social media, internet, and how to safeguard your child, gain skills and knowledge to develop a healthy parent-child relationship with the appropriate boundaries, learn ways to understand and support your child towards healing and recovery, become aware of resources to meet family needs, learn ways to take care of yourself.
Wow, that sounds like a fantastic program.
Thank you. And it is very beneficial. And the families that have taken this course have mentioned that they have learned so much and used those tools to also help other family members or friends. In these groups, also what we do, we educate our parents and we provide for them advocacy services. We also provide um, a program to educate them so they can have the proper tools and know the meaning of human trafficking.
Very good. Now, when you share with me about this program, you had mentioned that a lot of parents have a lot of shame and they don't feel they can tell their extended family about what happened because their daughter was a prostitute. Now, you and I know there's no such thing as a child prostitute, but because many in society don't understand this, there is a lot of shame for these parents. What is your experience of this?
That is so true. As I experienced it also, what a parent goes through, it's a lot of shame, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, and you feel embarrassed to tell friends, family, relatives. They don't understand, and actually you get blamed for it, that it's your fault. You know, you're allowing them to do that. They're old enough to make their decisions, but it's not that easy. Parents, other people don't really understand unless you have experienced it yourself.
Now, is there anything you would tell the parents in our audience whose children are currently or have been trafficked in the way of encouragement or advice that you would give them?
Thank you. Yes, I would. I would like to tell the parents that if you do have a child that is being trafficked right now, or if you see the signs, I encourage you to be that voice for your child. Stand up and fight. Um, contact the authorities and love them for who they are, support them in any way that you can, because they are looking for something that is out there, which is material, fake love. But the only way that we can actually fight is being there, supporting them, and giving them that nurturing love towards our children.
Savannah, I really want to commend you for standing for your daughter, for loving her through an incredibly difficult time, and for your willingness to share with everyone your experience. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I just want to put the awareness to all parents, even if you haven't experienced that, but just be that voice for our children. Let's fight against human trafficking. Let's stand together and be that
Yes.
voice.
Yes.